Please stay connected. Just another 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right, let's get started. I will be recording this session, and the recording of this session will also be visible on the YouTube after around 3 hours from now. I would request all of you to kindly keep your line muted during the session, and rest of the time I will be giving it to you to ask all the questions you have in your mind. I'm sure you all have come with lots of questions, as you always have in your mind. Over the email, we are overwhelmed by your response, the kind of questions you guys have on the email which you guys sent us to us. We also will be hopefully answering all those questions live in this session towards the end. So I would request you to just enjoy this demo for first 45 minutes and the remaining 1 hour Q&A completely planned only for you guys. So the rest of entire 1 hour after first 45 minutes is given directly to you. So you guys can have as many questions as you can, and you can ask them, and I will be there to answer each single questions which you have in your mind at the end of the session. So let's get started. Welcome everyone to this another amazing demo on SAP UI5 and Fiori training. As you heard correctly, this is an absolute beginner course with zero prerequisite to learn SAP UI5 and Fiori. This training is brought to you by anubhavtrainings.com, the #1 channel on the YouTube for SAP UI5, Fiori, ABAP on HANA, S4 HANA, and all the technical diet which you need today to be having a successful career going ahead in this new technological world. In the next couple of minutes, we will discuss about basics of SAP UI5. We will understand how the overall course structure and the learning strategy for SAP UI5. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an expert, this course will be there something. This course will be bringing something for you for sure. So let's get started with our first slide. What will be the goal at the end of this course? So this course will help you to learn SAP UI5 easily and effectively. Now, before we start learning anything, the very first thing which comes in our mind is, what are all the things I need to learn? How do I organize myself? So most importantly, it's quite critical that we should learn how to learn. Many a times we've tried, or you tried learning SAP UI5 or different things from the internet, and you have observed that lots of things are available already on the internet, but they are all distributed. There's no single place where you can find all the relevant information in the right order. And this is what our training will do. It will help you to find out and organize yourself in a way that you will learn how to learn. The next important goal will be to learn the tooling which we will be using throughout our development cycle. So what kind of tools and deployment options do we have when it comes to SAP UI5 and Fiori apps? The next one will be to learn how to write every single line of code, going away from those old complacent ways of copy pasting the code from one place to another place and somehow bringing the output by making some random changes out of luck, getting those results. Rather than that way, we will move to more complex, little bit more complex approach of writing every single line of code. And that's the main USP you will find here with Anubhav trainings, that we will not be copy pasting the code like most of the other trainers does. They will just simply download some ready-made examples and copy and paste and show you the result and then just run away. That's not the way to learn new things, because new things takes time. They need a lot of patience, and they also need that you go and practice every single line of syntax so that you understand the depth and the meaning of that line. Then we will also explore the core concepts of SAP UI5. We will go to the depth of the framework to understand how does the overall framework works, including the documentation, and where can you find all the time latest updates. We will be building beautiful Fiori applications with the best practices and gold standard. Many a times you develop something and you go home and that night you cannot sleep because you know in your heart somewhere that you have not done a justice to your work. Or you have this fear that somebody tomorrow review your code. They will be finding out many mistakes. So you are not so comfortable with the development which you have done. Why is because you are not aware of gold standards, the best practices, the ideal way of coding. We will be learning all of them as part of this course, which will make you a tension-free sleep over that night so that you can be rest assured that the code which you've written, the methodology or the architecture which you followed is a perfect piece of art. At the end, I would say this interactive session will help you to or give you an opportunity to ask multiple questions and answers during the session itself to clarify your doubts then and there. So that's the benefit of live mode of training. However, we also have the video mode of training where you can get started right away with all the videos in one go, and you can learn by these videos, and then later on come back with your doubts over the email, or you can post on our forum. Now, even for the live batch, after the class is complete, you will get the video of that particular class to review the class. Just in case if you also miss out a session in the live session, you can at a later point of time go and check the video as well for the same. So that's basically our course goal. So what is the most important question? Anubhav, who can learn SAP UI5? So I would say anybody can learn. If you are a college pass out, you can also learn. What do you think what we need to learn something? Whether it is painting or whether it is photography or it is like, doing bungee jumping from a plane or achieving skating or teaching skills or technical skills, anybody can learn anything. The only thing which you need is a willpower. And that's why I say, yes, I can and I will. If that willpower is there, you can actually learn anything on this planet which is available. Yes, you can do that. Right. So there are so many examples where I've seen a lot of students coming from mechanical background has very low knowledge on coding, yet they have that willpower to practice hard and challenge themselves every single day. And they are able to come out to be or turn out to be an amazing UI5 developer and now placed in a very good multinationals, or they were able to achieve their career goals in terms of if they want to switch their teams or they want to switch their project or get another project as a contractor or do the consulting, all these kinds of things they were able to showcase. It's my personal experience. It doesn't matter where you come from and what you do. What matters is how much willpower do you have to learn things. If you have that willpower and that zeal and enthusiasm to do so, trust me, all is yours. All is yours. This training is for you. However, talking very specific about the job roles, any technical consultant working on SAP space, you may be a BW developer, you may be a HANA developer, you may be a SAP GUI based, ABAP based developer or ABAP based programmer. ABAP programmer, to be very frank, you have a senior developer, principal developer, you are an architect, you are basically a technical consultant who worked on WebDin Pro or classical UI technologies like BSP, dialog programming, WebDin Pro, ABAP, WebDin Pro Java, Portal, all of you who are technical, this is one of the best thing for you which can happen. Yeah. So this is one thing you can definitely do that. The second is functional consultants also can learn this because these days you see in functional space, you're not getting too much of great opportunities. So that's where it will also help you. Even functional people can learn without any prerequisite, as I already mentioned. Then comes is UX designer. UX designers are the people who are by far doing the design of the application to create kind of a mock-up on the paper or using some kind of tooling to design how the application flow will look like. So this is an opportunity for them as well to go back and turn your ideas into reality with the help of SAP UI5. And of course, these days, I also see a large amount of management colleagues participating in these courses. The reason being, Anubhav, technology is completely changed. And it's extremely difficult as a manager or as a scrum lead for myself to estimate the efforts right. Because when a developer giving me an estimate, I have no clue what the developer is talking about. For example, if a developer says, it's going to take me about 2 days to complete this particular fragment of the UI, I have no clue what is fragment and how much is the real estimate for that completion. So can you give me a quick guide with which I can understand the overall architecture, overall flow, and I can also come back with a plan that, hey, how can you say this much is the time you will be taking, because this is just a fragment which you want to develop. So I can understand and estimate it better. I can also understand the technical discussions and in my team which are happening. Usually I as a manager don't get too much of respect from the colleagues. Whenever I ask them something, they say, you just keep quiet. Just we'll give you the estimate. You don't know technical stuff. It's difficult. It's complicated. This is the excuse they give me all the time, Anubhav, and it's very, very challenging for me to perform my work and control them in a better way. So that's where Scrum leads and managers who are non-technical people are also coming and attending this training to be able to understand things better at the depth, because technological change which has happened over the last couple of years is affecting everybody across the globe, across the teams, across the organizations. This is really a change which is not welcomed most of the time, yet we have to deal with this change for our careers. So that's about the target audience. Moving on to the 4-step easy learning process. As I mentioned, what are all the phases in which we will be completing our learning for UI5? So the first phase starts, which is with the foundation of UI5. And I'm sure majority of you coming from SAP background, non-SAP background have probably no idea about what is JS, JavaScript. And as a app developer, to be very honest, sometimes a little skeptical with this word called Java. And you say, oh my God, now do I need to learn Java? Is this what is mandatory? I heard some of my team members talking JavaScript is mandatory. Is it like I need to focus on core Java now and understand the Java concepts? Guys, let me tell you one myth around. You don't need Java programming knowledge to learn UI5. Then the question comes, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is browser's programming language. It has nothing in common with Java except the name. Only the name is common. Otherwise, JavaScript and Java are two completely different programming languages in their design, in their perspective, in their usage. They are completely different. We are going to use JavaScript, and guess what? We will be learning JavaScript along with HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery as part of this course. Now, the whole journey will start with the development tool setup. So we use SAP Web IDE Trial Edition, which is SAP Web IDE Personal Edition, which can be installed in your local machine absolutely free for lifetime. Yes, exactly. You heard it correct. The development tool which we will be using is SAP Web IDE, which is free in a trial mode for lifetime. You can download this, set up in your computer, your personal laptop, and you can use it. Even you can set up in your personal laptop, your company laptop. It's a whitelisted software, and you can use that for development. Don't panic. I will cover a step-by-step process of setting up Web IDE in your machine by yourself. There are two flavors for Web IDE. We have a dedicated session, session number 2, which is planned tomorrow. We will learn how to set up Web IDE in our local machine. Then phase 2 will start with SAP UI5 framework. We will be understanding the core concepts of UI5, including control libraries, control hierarchies. Where can you find the documentation about it? And all these things we will be completing as part of UI5 framework step. We use methodology or so-called design pattern, MVC design pattern, model view controller to design our application. This is where the heart of UI5 comes into picture, or heart of a Fiori app comes into picture, because when you develop, you have to follow certain guidelines and rules in the architecture. If you violate them, then maybe you get nice comments on the code review. And when external reviewer comes in your company to review your code, they may also bring up some exciting points for you, which can cause some little bit of disappointment in your mind that maybe the copy paste of code which I've done from internet, it was not the most right way. Yeah. Now, coming to the next phase, the Fiori development. So Fiori is all about user experience. So we can give you the tools, but what do you do with those tools? You can construct variety of architectural pieces with that tools. But Fiori will give you give you an organization to your development, giving you the guidelines, giving you the right practices to follow in order to build a beautiful app which is responsive, which can run on all the devices, all the platforms, and all the browsers. So that's what Fiori will help you to do. So we will learn the Fiori user experience guidelines and also build accordingly our Fiori apps using SAP.M library, which is so-called mobile library. And we will be learning the most interesting concepts, the latest concepts like component.js, router, route match handler, manifest JSON. So don't be overwhelmed right now with these names. We will be as and when continue learning all of these stuff in the system. Finally, we will learn OData services, how to build OData services, what is an OData service first of all, how to consume it, how to traverse through the OData, how to look at the metadata, how to look at service documents, and working with OData entities and entity set. This is all we will be learning as part of our process. We will learn integration and deployment, how to integrate your app and deploy this in SAP system or SAP cloud platform. And finally, the Launchpad, how to make your app available to the end user in the Fiori Launchpad using Launchpad Designer and of course, finally allowing user to access the app via the tile. So this is all in all the complete cycle of development divided into 4 equal phases. Each phase is about 25% of the course, and that's how you'll be completing this entire circle to make yourself so comfortable with UI5. And then on top of it, I will also be guiding you. You will get exclusive access to the code base of Anubhav Learning Series. Plus, you will also be, I will be guiding you through the course, which of my YouTube video will help you in what case. So that also together with this, and a complete end-to-end career guidance in terms of securing your career for next 10 years. What are all the things coming new, how they are spanning across, the significance of those new things and new technology all across your company. When you walk around on the floor, you see confusion is there. Everybody's kind of confused. Some of your colleagues have recently attended TechEd. They come back and they're just confusing you. They're telling you, hey, this is what is coming, that is what is coming, this is what is changing, that is what is changing. Nobody gives you a clear direction, a clear flow, and clear peace of mind in terms of what exactly this change means to me. As a developer, as a consultant, what does it mean for me? And how can I adapt, or what are all my learning needs today to adapt to this change so that I can still stay relevant in my company? These questions will be answered actually throughout this course. So I hope I was making it simple. So enough of theory. It's time to go back and start creating our first UI5 application here in the system. So let's look at what is that it needs to create your first as part of this demo. So what is that you need as a step, first step, first baby step we are taking towards the UI5. What is UI5 and how can we create our first application with our tool, so-called Web IDE. So let's start. So guys, what is UI5? So UI5 is a framework to develop responsive web applications. Amazing. Look at this line that itself describes a lot about SAP UI5. So the first word which I would say is framework over here. The second one comes is responsive. These are the two interesting words. If we understand, we will understand this whole sentence. So let's understand what is framework. The framework is nothing but is collection of libraries. It's a collection of libraries. So what is a library then? A library, just like a library, a collection of books. Similarly here in context of programming, a library is collection of classes. And what is the class? As you all know, class is nothing but collection of properties. You can call them attributes, methods, you can call them behaviors, and events. Yeah. So these are all the overall structure is, so it's a framework. Now, why we use word framework? Because framework is something which gives you something already built in. something already created by somebody, you can reuse and build on top of it. So you don't have to end up writing all the code by yourself. Okay, that's the benefit of a framework. For example, .NET framework. It gives you a tool. It gives you the necessary engines in order to write your code on top of that. And then when you run this, it is going to do the magic for you. So that's your framework concept. So SAP Wi-Fi is one of the framework. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of this framework is to build responsive web applications. So let's look at this word called responsive. Most of the people gets confused with the word responsive means it's fast. That's how, the English meaning comes out to be responsive. It's very responsive, very fast. No, that's not the meaning of responsive in this context. A responsive means an application which adapts itself based on the device we run. That's exactly called responsive web application. Based on the device which you run, it will adapt itself automatically. That's called responsive web application, everyone. All right. I hope this is clear. These two very simple words with the definition. And now, whenever we want to develop anything, we have some development tool. So if you want to develop your first UI5 app, what is the prerequisite? The first prerequisite is you need a development tool actually. You need a development tool. So we will be using SAP Web IDE as our development tool. So this tool is available in two flavors. One is Web IDE Personal Edition for local machine. So you can set up this tool in the local machine. And you can also use SAP Web IDE Full Stack in SAP Cloud Platform. Now, what is Web IDE? How does it look? How to set up Web IDE? This is covered in our next chapter. So that's planned tomorrow. We will cover this particular step in next chapter. And you all will be able to set up Web IDE development tool in your system in next class. For demo purpose, I will suppress this particular prerequisite here and I will move on to the next part right away. Trust me, in the next class, we will start with setting up the development tool. Like, I assume that you're a fresher. I will assume with that assumption, we'll proceed forward. Okay. Now, whenever you want to build an application, whether it is ABAP or C programming or Java or C++ or even Python, any programming language you ever use, or anything you ever done in programming world, it follows more or less the same pattern. So how do we develop? Or how are we developing by far on this planet Earth? How are we doing these steps? So the very first thing comes is initialization. Anything you do, first you do an initialization of something. Maybe you're invoking some engine or you are initializing something, you're adding some reusability to your application. That's first step, initialization. Those who come from computer science background, you see, or even any engineering background, we used to write C program, we used to say hashtag include conio.h, right? Studio.h. This is what we used to do. What is that? It's actually a preprocessor directive, which is calling up a kind of library where you have printf function placed, so that you can use the printf function. So that's kind of an initialization code. Java programming, you do initialization in terms of types. You want to do initialization with selection screen. Yeah. So that's your initialization. How you will load the dependencies in order to run your program. That's step number one. Second step comes is declaration of variables and objects. So most of the programming language these days follows object-oriented pattern of development. And then there you create probably a variable or an object which you will be using throughout your code. And then you will write the logic for user input, basically your user interface, where you will accept some logic from the user. Say, hey, user, can you please pass me the value of material or plant or a personnel number? So that's your user input logic, which we will build typically using selection screens in core app. So that's how we do step number 3. And then in the next step, you will have your actual processing logic. It is nothing but it includes your orchestration between screens, your application logic, all of this comes in over here. Finally, you will present the output to the user, display the output to the user, and finally you will write or clean up code at the end. So this is the flow of majority of the types of development. Any programming language, this is the simplified way of writing the code. Wherever you start learning anything, any programming language, this is what you learn for the first time. Now, going with the same flow, we will also write our first application over here. Now, a couple of interesting things with respect to SAP UI5. So, first thing comes is syntax. Whenever you're working with SAP UI5, you need to remember this syntax. So, we'll be following again the object-based approach. So, I will be creating an object. So, what is the syntax to create an object in SAP UI5? So, we'll say var, and we will say the object name. So I'm putting the non-keywords in capital letter, equals to new. New is a keyword again. It says I want to create a new object. And then as I mentioned, we have a library. So we will have to put a library name from the UI5 framework. And then we have to put the class name inside that library in the UI5 framework. Now parenthesis, and then we have to write here the ID of the control ID, whatever you want to put, comma, curly braces, and then inside this you will write your property name, property value, property name, property value. So for example, you're creating a button. Now for a button, a property could be a label property for the button, a text property for the button. When I create a button on the UI, what will be the label which it will show to the end user? That's your property. And then we'll give the value for that property. We will see an example in a moment in the real system. So this is the syntax we follow. Again, I repeat, var, object name, the name of the object you want to create, new keyword, the library name, as I just mentioned about a minute ago, UI5 is a framework, which is a collection of libraries. And these libraries contains classes, and each class contains properties. So that's what is happening here. We have here the object name. We have the new keyword, the library name dot class name, and then you give the ID of the control, and then you give property and value. Now this becomes your declaration for the object of any UI element you want to create in UI5. And then you will of course place this as part of your page, so that on the page this button will get displayed. All right. So let's also start our development now. We will start with initialization, declaration, logic, processing, presentation, logic, and cleanup code. All of this we will be following. So first comes is initialization. How do you initialize your first project in UI5 and start writing your first piece of code? Of course, you see when I start writing, we will be writing an HTML page. What is an HTML page? An HTML page consists of a header, or I say a brain and a body. Okay, any HTML page you start or create on the, it is basically for the browser. Browser understand HTML pretty well. So that's why we create an HTML page. So in HTML page, it consists of header and body. What is body? Body is what users see. That's your body. Header is what? It's brain. Any kind of processing logic which you write, it should be in the brain. So brain is your processing, and body is what people see, right? It's like our human mankind. We have a brain which nobody can see. Okay, brain is inside your skull, and that's the processing engine for your entire body, which commands your body. Okay, and the body is what people see, your presentation, right? Similarly, an HTML page contains a head and a body. Head contains the processing logic, and body is what users see. So when you run an HTML page, user will see what is written in the body. So let's get started with first an initialization code. So I'm going to come back, and you can see here, this is our development tool. We call it as Web IDE. I have already set up this tool in my system over here. and I will be using this tool over here. I'll just log in, and you will see this tool is launching in my local computer. It works beautifully on local machine. I will show you how to set up this tool in your computer in our next session. Okay, so I've just had a fresh instance of WebID here, and you can see this is how it looks like. You can assume more or less it looks like any development tool. So like if you have worked with ABAP, so you know SEAT, your ABAP workbench. So you have on the left hand side your view for object repository objects. When you click on one of the object on the right hand side, it will show you the code where you can start writing your application code. So this is exactly in the same fashion. If you work with Eclipse or any other development tool in your life, Power BI, or for example, any tool, this is how typically any development tool looks like. On the left side, they show the artifacts. On the right side, you will go and write your code, which you want to do. So let's start with a fresh folder. I'm going to right click on the workspace and new, create a new folder, and we'll just give some name. Let's say welcome 2020. That's my project name. Of course, your project name should be much better. For demo purpose, I'm just keeping welcome 2020. And now I'm going to say right click and I say new, and we'll just add a file, and we give the file name here as HTML extension. So file name can be anything, but the extension has to be .html. So let's put anubhav.html, my name, and you can see we have created our first HTML file, okay, which is what browser can understand. And I'll start with an HTML document. So we'll start with something called HTML document like this. And in this, we will put header and we'll put body. This is what we just discussed. Any HTML page consists of header and body. We had put a HTML page with the tags and HTML head and the body. Every single line of code, no copy paste of code. Never learn from trainers who are teaching you copy paste. They are cheating you. They are not teaching you. All right. So that's header and the body. Now we have a detailed chapter planned on HTML, where the HTML come from, what is the history of HTML, what is the legacy, how does the HTML was born and what was it used for, and how did people have built frameworks on top of HTML. We'll be doing all of that with dedicated HTML tags. We will be learning in detail in our coming chapter number 3 and 4. Dedicated HTML learning we will be doing. Right now it's a demo, so I'm just showcasing you the basic stuff so that you can get familiarized with my style of teaching. I can just go back and save. And now we have a header and the body. So let's go to the body of HTML. And here is where we're going to write something. So I will just say www.anubhavtrainings.com, our website. Save this up. And I can just go ahead and execute. So let me click on run. And now I'll see my application would run. And wow, you can see I've got a beautiful text printed over here on our web page. So that's your first web page app on the WebID. It was simple. Yeah. So now coming to the next step, we are now going to use SAP UI5 to build our first page, first application. So the very first thing which comes over here is initialization again. We got to initialize this framework. We need to invoke this framework. We need to bring, we want to use the power of UI5. So we need to invite the framework first of all. So how this invite will happen? You have to send an invite to SAP. Hey, SAP UI5 framework, please come and be part of my application so that I can use you. I can leverage the power from you. So I can use your libraries. I can use your classes. This is step number 1, initialization. So I'm going to go back. And that code is something not going to go in the body. As I mentioned, it's a brain. So we will write here another very powerful statement called the script tag. And we're going to give src source. This is a source of the script. So source will tell you where is the UI5 is placed and from where it should be loaded. So now what we do is in this step, we tell the system that UI5 is placed somewhere on the internet. And please download it from the internet. So this syntax actually is responsible for downloading programmatically the UI5 at runtime in the browser, and we'll be placing it in the browser. So that's what system will do for you with this syntax. So now what is the address of this gentleman? Where is it placed? So address is, I'll tell you, HTTPS tools SAP UI5 tools.hana.ondemand.com /resource /SAP UI core.ps. Okay, this is the address. Now the question comes, Anubhav, how do you know this address, Anubhav? So I know this address with the documentation, our chapter number 11, where I will talk about SAP UI5 SDK, the software development kit, which is freely available to you for start your development. So that's where I got to know this address. And by far, it's been, a great journey learning with UI5. So I've been remembering this now by heart, right? So now I'll just also test this. Is it really a real address on the internet somewhere? I'm just going to copy and put it in my browser and press enter just to cross check if this is the address which is working fine. As you can see, when I load, it doesn't work. So I think it's a resource or there's something I'm missing. Okay, let me just cross check. And maybe I just have to search again. SAP UI5 resources. It's not loading. You can see there's a problem. So maybe I just search for SAP UI5 Bootstrap. So this is how you can also search. You will get the address right away. You see bootstrapping UI5. So SAP UI5 let me just go back, check. It's not tools, it's just SAP UI5 hana.ondemand.com. That's the correct address. I'm going to copy this again. And let me just go back and pull this, enter. And voila. You see, it is now giving me some response, yeah, which indicates that something is cooking, something is there, okay? Now, don't panic by looking at this code. Of course, you never, ever, ever need to look at this code, neither need to understand. This is a framework developed by SAP. We're just testing if this URL is correct or not. That's how we just check things, okay? So now it's done. It's working fine. So I can be rest assured that when I run my app, the UI5 will be loaded. Now, this UI5 framework contains collection of libraries. We don't want every library to be loaded because then it will be too much of performance overhead loading everything. So we want to tell UI5, hey UI5, I don't want everything. You just give me one library which I need right now in my app. And that library is what we're going to specify as a next statement, data SAP UI libs. And we're going to tell I want only SAP.m library, which is mobile library. Now, what are all these libraries? How many of them are there? Where can I find the details about each of the library? I will cover in chapter number 11 after our foundation is complete. Okay, so that's the next line, significance. So why I'm writing the code here is to make you understand the significance of every single line. What usually trainers do, they just copy this code from somewhere and paste it and say, okay, this is done. Yeah, done, goodbye. And when you go to production, you stuck with some issue there. You have no clue what this line is meant for. And you just keep changing the code by luck. If it works, it works. Otherwise, oh my God, we have a problem. Your manager say, are you really an expert or how are you coding it then? Right? So this is the main problem in industry. People don't give time to things to understand from scratch. And then they get demotivated that it's tough. It's difficult. It's not at all difficult. I can learn. You can definitely learn. What you just need is the willpower, which I showed you at the beginning. I can and I will. If you have that willpower, trust me, it's so easy. We together will be doing miracle at the end of this course. We'll be building amazing Fiori applications. So that's the next step. And next to that, I want to also get beautiful Fiori experience. So for that, there's another parameter which we put to load a theme. Okay, and that's called fdata SAP UI. And we're going to say SAP underscore blue crystal. However, we have even more advanced version of themes like SAP Fiori 3 themes. And we have SAP Bleeze theme, which is a little more advanced than blue crystal. But majority of the audience is still see this as the default theme till today. So that's the next parameter we have loaded. The theme parameter, which is going to get you that Fiori experience actually. Now, when you load this theme parameter, you also have to say, hey, when this theme is loaded, my whole body should be colored in Fiori theme. Yeah, whole body. So we have to add a classification property. Okay, and we say SAP UI body. This is going to represent my entire body of the page. So I just keep this extra classification property. Now, what is the significance of this classification property, where it has come from, how many other class properties are there? So we will be looking at it in chapter number 4 when we start with CSS. Okay, so that's a next step. So now I've done my initialization completed, and it has also loaded the theme and the library. So let's go ahead and now execute once again our app. I'm going to go back to this URL. We open it in another browser window, makes it easy for me to switch the context. I'm going to open another browser window and just enter this one over here. And now you see, wow, beautiful. You observe carefully, last time the background was white, and now this turned it to light blue. If you ever seen any Fiori app in your life, you can imagine this is the same background you get it in Fiori. Light blue background. Exactly. That is coming, and it's clearly in evidence here that SAP UI5 framework is now live in action. It has loaded with its theme and library. So what can we do? We can then definitely go ahead and use one of the class with our syntax, which we just learned about a minute ago, to create our first button on the UI, button on this page. Okay, so this is the syntax. We will follow this var variable, object name equals to new, library name dot class name, the ID of the control, and then property in value. Now, a couple of interesting things here. Fundafox. What is Fundafox? It was a word which I've invented during my college days. So whenever I teach, I cover or I learn, I highlight those parts of the code or those parts of the topic which makes it interesting for certification point of view, which makes it interesting from the interview point of view, and that's the crux of that topic. So this is what over here Fundafox is all about. So Fundafox is actually important of that topic. Within that topic, what is so important? You need to always remember, because there will be certification questions and there will be interview questions during that. So first Fundafox coming up on your screen. Many times we kind of conveniently ignore the basics. So understand the symbols will make you or break you. The symbols are having different significance in programming, and the way you pronounce them is also different. And when you're talking on a link call or Skype call with your colleagues, make sure that you use them correctly. Okay. Otherwise, people will think that you don't have the sufficient knowledge or you don't have the depth knowledge. So the first one, which people usually pronounce as a bracket, it's not bracket. It's called parenthesis. Trust me, guys, when you change the way you look at and you understand the basics and the core, it becomes extremely simple, and you will be able to do much more as compared to what you're able to do. The second one is called curly braces. Never do a mistake while you're talking your colleagues or architect about these symbols. Otherwise, they will say, oh, you don't know this basic. And this one is called bracket. Now, there's another name for this called braces also. So this is a very basic thing. What are you teaching? It's very simple. Yeah, for you, it's very simple. But sometimes some of the people use them interchangeably, and this destroys the whole syntax. So be very careful with these Fundafoxes. They will be responsible for your syntax errors. All right. So you see here we've used parentheses and curly braces. So these are the two symbols we've used it. So let's go ahead into the system, and now let's create our first button from SAP M library. So I'm going to go back to header itself, and I'm going to add another piece of script tag for the code. And now in this, I will say var, my keyword, ID, this is my name, whatever you want to like, you can just put that, object name, new, sap.m, you just remember this library we loaded, SAP M library, and then in this we have a button class, parenthesis, ID, btn, whatever you want, you can just put that, comma, curly braces, and now I will give the text property for my button. We can name something this button. I will name it as Spider-Man. So that's my button name, guys. Now question comes, Anubhav, how do you know there's a text property? This is what we specifically cover in chapter number 12 in our course, where we'll talk about UI5 control hierarchies. So that's the chapter number 12 in our course, where we'll detail cover how do you know that which property, which events, which aggregation, which methods are available for a class, and what are all the significance of these properties, aggregation, what is an aggregation. Yeah, we will talk about the basics line by line, step by step, no copy paste of code. So you can get hold of entire subject, a great command on the entire subject. So that's your variable is ID, which is just a variable. As you already know, the very simple rule, what user see is what is in the body. User won't see this button. You just declared a variable, object variable. User will not see this button. If I come back and refresh, you will see user cannot see this button out here, because there's this need to put this button on the front end, on the UI. And that's what we do in the body. So body is what user see. User cannot see this. Gentleman is just a variable. Okay. So now in the body, what I'll do is probably go here and put an element called div element. It's called division tag. We'll cover this in chapter number 3. It's lined up in chapter number 3. What is a div tag? Just give an ID to this, and I can give any ID. Let's say ID 20. That's an ID I give. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the system, hey, this variable which you created, can you please place this variable into this element 2020? So I just have to give ID 2020, and that's it, guys. We are done. Now what you see when you run, it's going to place the button into that particular element. The element belongs to the body, and since you're putting now this one in the body, this will be visible to the end user. Let's come back and refresh, and now you will see you would be getting a beautiful button. Wow, it's a first button, Spider-Man. Of course, when I click, nothing happens because I didn't write any logic yet. Remember the steps to build a program. First was initialization, then was declaration of variable, and then we had the design of our screen, the user input. We had put a button out there, we placed it in the body, and now comes the processing logic. So processing logic, it's so simple. Just have to use events for processing logic. So we have to come back, comma, and we have to say press. When user press, what should happen? And that's what going to be a function. So don't panic with the syntax. We'll learn all the syntax during our course of fundamental chapters. So with HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, you will be very comfortable with the syntax in detail. So right now I'm just showing you how exactly the flow will be. So coming to function, and I can just say alert, and I'll say welcome to world of UX. Save this up, go back, refresh, and now watch out. We got a real processing logic and output logic. So this is your processing logic. What should happen? How should happen? And this is what should happen. So what should happen when you click on button? This is the output. We are giving output also. Click. Voila. There you go. Welcome to the world of UX. Thank you so much, everybody, for this demo session. I'm done with today's class. That's how you create your first UI5 app. I hope you understand and like my demo session. For more, you can check our YouTube channel. Name of the channel is Anubhav Oberoi. We have extremely high number of videos on YouTube, but none of those videos will help you if you not take this training, because training is where you understand the fundamentals and everything what you need to know to build something. My videos on YouTube is actually more advanced techniques like camera integration, a lot of advanced stuff. So you can always go to the channel Anubhav Oberoi. That's where you will find all the videos. We will also guide you and give you exclusive access to Anubhav Learning Series with the complete source code you will be able to download. So you can see on our channel, we have high number of videos. You can see also the last demo session is published. The same demo which we are currently doing here with you will also be published after 3 hours on this channel. So you can go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified of today's demo class. I hope this is clear to everybody. With that, I'm done with my demo session. Thank you so much for all of you. What is that the next step from your end? If you want to subscribe this training, feel free to send an email on install.abap@gmail.com. You can also send us an inquiry on anubhavtrainings.com, or you can also reply to the email which you have received for the demo session. You have received an email. To the same email, you can also reply after the session is complete. With that, thank you so much once again. Thanks for being always there and supportive for this channel. I will see you in the next class tomorrow. Have a nice day and goodbye. So now it's time, guys, every one of you to speak up one by one, please, with your questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask one by one, please.
I know.
Hi.
Good morning. This is Vikram, and thank you for providing the demo. It was really good. I just wanted to know, like, what is the timing? It will be like 7 to 8.
Good question. Let me just put it across the timetable of this batch. So this batch begins today. Officially, this was our first session today. So it starts today right away, right here. And it's a weekday batch. Okay, it's a weekday batch, and which is weekday India, because I'm currently located in India. So it's a weekday batch, morning 7 to 8 a.m. daily on weekdays. This is the time which is fixed. There is no other slot. All the other slots are booked for ABAP on HANA, S4 HANA, Fiori Security, Fiori Advanced, ABAP on Cloud, RESTful ABAP programming. So I only have this slot. If this is not convenient for you, please opt for video mode. There you can cover things with your own pace, with your own speed, your own convenience. So we have all the videos already available. I'll just show you a glimpse of that, of my previous completed. Okay, so I just show you the glimpse of that. All the videos are there, latest videos. I've just completed a batch this Friday. So all the content is already available in the right flow. You see, this was my last batch. It was just completed about Friday, and today we are here with the next batch. Some of you are porting from the old batch to new batch because you joined the last batch in the middle, and as I promised, I will be this batch again live in action at front of all of you. Those who are porting, welcome to all of those who are already subscribed, following them videos, but now join the live batch as I promised you since you joined in the middle. So you see, here are the videos. All the videos are already published. Yeah. This is where you also start with of training with your own pace. Yeah, you can go with your own pace, slow, fast, whatever you like. So if you think you can't wait for 2 months, you have a project development need or a delivery cycle coming up, and you need to quickly learn UI5 in Fiori, you can probably go with or want to go with video mode of training. These are recordings of live classes of my previous batch, the most recent batch, which was completed 2020 Friday, last Friday. So also go with this one. But in this case, you will not get access to live classes together. So you will only get these videos, which you can go through them. We will also cover complimentary object-oriented ABAP. You can complimentary OOP sessions are also published. You can go through them. And this is the complete batch with all the concepts which are covered in my last batch. They are all, you can get these videos and watch them. Okay, they are not on YouTube. They are only available when you subscribe the course. None of these content is on YouTube. This is the core. And into the timing for US candidates. So for you, for most of you who are from US, it will be Sunday evening. I would request you to kindly mute your line until you don't have a question to 9:30 p.m. It's a timing, Eastern time zone. It's Sunday to Thursday evening, guys, for majority of you. Those who are in India, it will be morning 7 to 8. Usually, I will close my topic by 8 o'clock for sure. And after 8, we will have daily question and answer round after the class where you can ask live questions. So today, for demo reason, I didn't open the chat window, but usually a chat window also comes up on your screens, which you can go ahead and chat actually. So that's what will be the mode of communication between us. Daily morning 7 to 8. Just want to give also a heads up that I will be on vacation for 1 week during this batch, which is somewhere end of February. So this last weekend of February, I'm not there. that I want to give a heads up, but that's still fine. You can see 50% of our course will be complete, and then you will have this 1 week of time when I'm not there to revise that 50% of the content which we complete. So that way it's also a good opportunity to leverage that free time in the middle. So that's the only week I'm not there. That's an advanced heads up I want to give. I don't want to lie to anybody that, okay, I will come and then I'm not there, I'm not coming, I'm giving excuses that my mom is not well, my wife is going to office, I need to drop my kids to school. All these excuses, I don't make it. I will be very honest. And if I promise that I'll be there, I will be there. You will not find a small glitch in the professionalism in terms of content. Okay, that is for sure. So that's the timing. I hope this answers your question. Moving to the next.
Yeah, this is Visachi here. So the classes will start from tomorrow. There is 27th of Jan.
It started today already. Tomorrow is our next session, session number 2.
So for the subscription, like what would be the mode of payments?
You can email to Meenakshi and then she will guide you based on your convenience. So please email to Meenakshi. He will give you all the details. You can also reply to the email which you have received from us, from our team. So they will give you all the details. Depends
sir,
on
I am. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. I am Deepak, sir.
Hey, Deepak. How are you?
Yes, sir. I am fine, sir. Nice presentation. Thanks, sir. Sir, actually, I wanted to ask you this batch when means from tomorrow it will start, sir.
Yes, exactly. It started today. Tomorrow is our next class. Session number 2 is planned tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. I will just contact with that by the mail.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi.
One thing I want to just make a note here, guys, everyone. Please note that we are overwhelmed by your love and emails. You guys are fantastic and phenomenal. You guys send us lots of emails. Every day we get about 150 to 200 emails on one single day all across the globe, from Spain, Japan, China, Korea, US, UK, Germany, India, all across the globe. Please understand it's a demo day. We will be overwhelmed by email more than the double. So if you have made the payment, just stay patient and follow Hollywood principle. Do not call us. We will call you. Yeah, that's a Hollywood principle. We will call you. Do not call us. You made a payment. You send an email. You will get access to the next class and all the details, including the blog access on your mailbox. Just stay tuned. Don't call us. We will call you. Otherwise, we will not be able to serve you. We have a team of highly trained professionals who can do the work when you just do the mail conversation and you just wait for some time. You will get your subscription activated within 2 to 3 hours after making the payment. So that is the process. This is my humble request, because on the demo day, we get so many calls continuously. It's ringing and it's so difficult to work and manage things. So please, my humble request is stay patient. Don't call us. We will call you. Just communicate over the email. You will get fast response as fast as possible from our end. And you will not miss tomorrow's class for sure. Next question, please.
Yeah, hi, Anubhav. It's Sanjay.
Yes, Sanjay, please.
Yeah, it's a good demo. Anubhav, actually, I'm also looking for chatbot. So, are you in future, or are you planning to give on chatbot also?
Sorry, the conversational UI with the chatbot integration, conversational UI, the SAP product. I am not covering any detailed training on that. But I have a YouTube video how to
I checked
and how
that
to
video.
integrate that with the Fiori app. That part I have already shown you, and I will guide you guys in the time-to-time basis. But there is no dedicated training on the chatbot right now planned.
Okay.
Right now,
Okay,
because
actually,
I'm completely packed with so many other things. Completely packed with so. Yeah.
I already watched that videos, chatbot videos. It's it's very nice. So I extend that knowledge. That's yes.
I hope you liked it and it was helpful for you in your company. And similarly, I will also guide you the advanced videos. So sometimes, some people think, oh my God, this guy is talking about chatbot. What is chatbot? Don't worry, guys. You all are equal to me. Okay, you all are equal to me. When we start the batch, I will make sure that nobody gets an advantage. All of you are same level for me. Just like, the Mother Earth, it doesn't differentiate between all the human beings, no matter which religion, which caste, which country, which language you speak, doesn't matter. Same fashion, I will make sure that all of you get equal light from my side, equal knowledge. But at the end, some of you will turn into an fantastic developer. Some of you will be an average one. Let me tell you the difference. It's just the practice matters. I have seen mechanical people never ever written a single line of code, and they are today working and eating up the job of SAP professionals. It's just the dedication and hard work. There is nothing like free lunch. And there is no shortcut. It's the hard work which will take you forward. And if you're ready to do hard work, Anubhav is there with you to do equal amount of hard work along with you. And I will never leave your hand. Trust me. I will never leave your hand. I will be there to do equal amount of hard work. You can check the kind of promise which I have. Even after the course is complete, I still have promises made to my student. If they are stuck in some problem, I will give them the YouTube video. And that's how this channel is growing so fast, because I'm still continuously producing the advanced content on YouTube. Continuously, my student keeps demanding Anubhav this, Anubhav that, and I will still keep the promise. I'll still say, okay, no problem. I could not cover this topic in training because that was important. I will give you this particular topic in a dedicated video. Beyond the boundary, beyond my duty, I'm doing this extra for you guys. And this is what my promise to you. I came to training industry because I suffered a lot. I could not find a trainer like Anubhav in my life. So I have created Anubhav for you guys. So you don't have to suffer the same thing which I have suffered with when I need to learn something new. And that's why Anubhav was created. Yes, please.
Anubhav, just one query. Like as you told, like after the daily training, there you will be uploading the videos on the portal.
Yes.
So we will have the access on the our daily video. Like say after 5 days, if I want to check what was covered on say today, so that access I will be having over there, right?
Yes.
So what will be the duration for that, that portal access?
Okay, I would request you to please check anubhavtrainings.com/FAQs. All your questions are however answered, but let me tell you, it's 8 months of time where we give the access. It's an Amazon server which we have taken, Amazon Virtual Services, to host those videos with HD streaming quality, HD quality streaming. So Amazon will give us the monthly subscription. So we are paying on your behalf. So your training cost is actually made of that subscription also behind the scene. You don't have to do anything. It's all flawless. You just have to open the link and you'll see the videos. But what happens after 8 months, we stop that. But if you want to restore, we can restore. We don't charge you again the training fee. We just charge you the minimal fee, which is I think comes around 40 USD or 1,000 bucks in INR if you want to pay. That's the fee we charge you just to restore that content on the cloud. So that's the only fee we charge. We don't charge you again the training fee. So you can continue your access even after 8 months. But ask yourself, is the 8 months not sufficient? You want to stuck to the same thing for lifetime?
Yeah, that's
Probably
right.
not. Right.
And one more thing, that you were talking about the old data thing. So it will be required to have the SAP access, right? And integration also with the web ID or whatever UI portal UI software will be using. So like for us, like when we'll be practicing the integration of the OData and the Fiori, so how like we'll be doing, because the web ID will be in our local system, right?
Right. So we will give you also, we can arrange your server access. And right now that's not needed. I will save a lot of your money, guys. When we reach to the OData chapter, that's when I will guide you the server options we have. Okay, we have available. And this will also allow you to connect to the SAP backend server, real SAP S4HANA backend server from your web ID, local machine, and even from cloud platform. So we have an amazing server offering as an extra service for you. Those who don't want to avail this, you will not be charged. But those who want to avail this, the cost will be charged for this extra. That is 2,500 in Indian bucks. And if you are paying in US dollar, it will be 40 US dollar. So that's an extra fee we will be charging you. if you need this server. So you can find the detail over here on the FAQ. You can go through this, but right now I'll save you money. You don't need server on the day one because we use Web ID, which is free. So majority of the part will be covered on the free Web IDE. So you don't have server access at the beginning on the day one. So don't panic about it. We have a dedicated session planned also in our course to explain about server access only about server access, what type of server you need, what is that you can check, can you use your company server, can you save some cost? All this will be discussed in the course.
And
Just one last query. Sorry guys, I just have one last query. So Anubhav, as a whole, like at the end of the training, so we'll be having the knowledge of the designing UI pages. We have the knowledge on integrating it with the backend, with the SAP, to get the data flow and everything, and also we'll be able to deploy them into the Fiori launchpad, right? So in the real-time scenarios, is these are the sufficient to start a career with as a Fiori developer, or what?
Yes, exactly.
Like, I just wanted to know what is the scope of a Fiori developer will have and what we'll get from here. So I just wanted to know that.
Perfect. So you can see this is one application which we had built in the last batch. So you see it's asking me credentials of my ABAP system, which means it's connecting to real-time ABAP system. And this is what we developed end-to-end the last batch. Okay. So you see here it fetches the data from SAP system, and then it shows that data, including the photos. Okay. All of this data is showing up, and we have F4 helps. We have almost everything which we built. We have create screen. We can develop, create screen. We can fetch data, the most expensive product. We can delete, create, read, update. So everything which you need to know to be able to build an app, follow the guidelines, gold standard, technical concept, architectural concept, and end-to-end app development with all the create, read, update, delete, images, function import, service generation, integration, deployment, delivery, launchpad is covered in this. Okay, so this course, after this, you can call yourself a UI5 developer and start picking up for any interview in the market for UI5 and Fiori positions. Now, there's another aspect of it, which is basis work. Basis work includes security of Fiori. So if you're expecting Fiori security in this course, we will not cover here. Okay, Fiori security is another big topic, which is separated out in another module called Fiori security and advanced Fiori module. So once you combine these two modules together, then you become a Fiori architect. So to begin your career in SAP Fiori UI5, this is the first stepping stone. This is the first setup you have it. So you can go to next batches tab on the website, and there you will find out the list of these courses. So if you want to get a complete end-to-end knowledge to work on any project on in this planet, you must complete, I would always say, complete these three. That's a three things you need to complete. But again, I'm not selling here. I don't want you to sell courses. I still don't recommend you to go with all three together. Go one by one. Next 10 years of your career is set. If you complete these three, you will become an architect or a full stack developer. I'm not sure how many of you seen my video, how to become SAP full stack developer. Only one video, one guiding video on the entire YouTube. Okay, SAP full stack developer. How many of you seen that? I'm not sure. If you've not, please, I would request you don't buy my course. First, you watch this video. This will give you a clear guidance of what you want, where you want to go, what do you want to become. How to become full stack developer? What is the salary prospect? What are all the companies who are hiring, and why you should plan to become a full stack developer? And this is my aim and goal, to make everyone full stack developer. So you've got to complete these three. But this is the first step towards this journey. Without this, other things doesn't matter. So I hope this clear your idea. You can start giving interviews also right after that.
Hey,
I have a question. Can you confirm if you cover in this course also the SAP UI5 visual editor?
No, visual editor is covered in advanced Fiori course. However, there's a quick video on YouTube. You can also go and check SAP UI5 or SAP Web ID Visual Editor. You can just check that. But again, visual editor comes with annotation concept. Building these analytic apps with OVPs, it's an advanced topic. It's covered in my advanced Fiori training. So if you're already comfortable with UI5, I would request you to directly jump to advanced Fiori. That's where I cover visual editor and OVP based analytic app creation with annotation concept in UI5.
Which course is that? Is that the last one on the right?
Launchpad security with Fiori Advanced. This is the one where we come.
Okay. Now I'm not really interested in the security part of it because I have basis, dealing with that. But I'm just more, interested in the visual editor part. So I don't know if I can take just the visual editor, but not the security part.
So actually, we get this as a complete package, and in this where I've covered the visual editor, you can get a glimpse of that over here on the YouTube. You see, Fiori overview page. So just a glimpse. This is not a complete video. This is just 5 minutes. But we have a dedicated 2.5 to 3 hours of training only on visual editor and creating this OVP app. You see how does this OVP app looks like. This is what we created. But that's advanced Fiori. But before you jump to advanced Fiori, you should have a clue about what is manifest, what is component.js, what is routing, what is router, what is JavaScript, what is a controller, what is a scaffolding template, what is the dependency management, what is MVC architecture, what is the way you communicate to the OData service, how the OData gets connected to the manifest, how do you create the model, binding mode, binding type, data model, server-side model, client-side model, JSON model, XML model, coming about the concept of dependency management with base controllers, child controllers, control hierarchies, OData integration, get calls, put calls, patch calls, update calls, delete calls, performing $batch, performing the best practices to write every single line of code. If you are comfortable with all of this, then I would recommend you to go Fiori Advanced. So all this which I just told you are covered here. Without a strong foundation, what happens when you build a building without a foundation? What happens? You may say, okay, this is an amazing building. This is fantastic. This is going to represent my city or my country, but it will collapse on the first earthquake. It will collapse on the first natural calamity because you don't have a strong foundation out there. And this is the biggest problem everywhere. Everybody is just talking around us. You see people walking to your desk and say, learn visual editor. Learn this, learn that. And they don't give you how to learn. And nobody has a clue. Things are changing so fast and nobody gives you the direction. The right direction is here at front of you. Complete this one first, then go for Fiori Advanced. You will have an amazing career. You will be able to do everything on your own without any single dependency on somebody else. You will become a full stack developer. You will be able to do in and out everything. What could be better than that? Yeah. So yet it's your choice. It's your conscious decision. You want to directly go with this guy and learn the part where you are needing in your job. Just somehow get your job done and forget about the learning. That can be an approach you can take. It's your choice. Everybody's choice is different. People make different choices. And the choices, these small choices we make, they will turn into habits. And that's what these collection of habits make our career. So your career decision, your career progression, career fulfillment, it's not a matter of your manager. Your manager doesn't decide that. It's us who decide ourselves what brings the fulfillment to my work. For me, as an Anubhav, I would say what brings fulfillment to me when I know things in and out, when I know everything. At least everything it means I have idea of things where maybe I'm not working, but I can do when the time comes, I can do things which probably nobody else can do. That brings me fulfillment. What brings me more fulfillment? When people approach me in my company, hey, you are an expert. I have never seen a people like you in my whole of career. When people older than you approach you and say, hey, can you help me with this? This is what gives me that satisfaction and fulfillment that I'm able to help more people, make them more enabled, inspire them and touch their life. At least one person's life, if you can change in throughout your life, you will on your deathbed at least have a satisfaction. You'll not have a regret. I've read a nice book called 5 Regrets When You Die. So one of the first regret out of all of them, I wish I would have had true to myself and not live my life on the base of others' expectation. Right? That's the first. There are a lot of these things. I'm sure you would have read that book. So one of the regret which they have is I wish I could have learned more things in my life. I wish I would have had more time. So these are the things based on these courses are designed. Yes, please.
So, what is the duration for this course?
This one is 40 hours, the first one which we are starting today, this one. We are our good news, those who are ABAP developers, they want to start with ABAP on HANA. This is also fine. You can take like path number, this one as 1, this one as 2, and this one as 3. This is one learning journey you can take. Another learning journey, this is 1, then this is 2, and this is 3. This is another learning journey. We are starting this one also from 3rd of February, but I would not sell you these two courses together. Please don't buy two.
And we are saying one course for 40 hours and all are including all.
No, this is 40, this is 40, and this is 50.
Okay.
I have one question. Is the web ID used in real time or a different tool used? All these are in a real time, right?
Yes. Web ID is the preferred tool for development. You check out any TechEd event or any DCOM event, any event on SAP, you will find the Web IDE is the preferred tool for development. Please read your line. However, we also have tools like Eclipse some people are using, which is old, obsolete. You cannot do many things out there. Another tool which is popular in market is called Neptune tool. I have heard about Neptune tool, but I don't think that we should use tools like which SAP is not promoting. So SAP only promoting WebID. Good news is WebID is also available in SAP Cloud Platform, which is the preferred way of development going forward. So we'll also cover that as part of this course. So WebID, yes, nothing else.
Okay. And about you provide guidance for certification?
Yes, we will provide you the guidance for certification and why to take the course if you just need the guidance. You can anyway go to our course page and put the certification guidance right away. You don't need to buy course. So if you want knowledge, buy my course. If you just want to get certification done, you can just go ahead certification guidance and you can get the dumps from LI and that's it. Clear the certification. Why to pay money for course?
No, certification does matter. I mean, in this part of the world, I mean, I understand your training is good, but here they just go by certification and it's just like a rubber stamp or whatever you can call. But the thing is, the weightage increases if you are certified. I think you understand the value of certification.
I understand that.
But that's fine.
I understand that.
Fine.
I understand that.
And one more thing, I would like to know the contents of this course, like on the launchpad, what you're covering, and the gateway, what you're covering.
You can check the course content on the website. It's very detailed.
Okay, it's updated, right? So it has all the updated things. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you very much.
all the updated. And you can also do that. Yes, please.
So what is the fees details?
Please drop an email to install.abap@gmail.com. She will guide you with all the details.
Okay.
So curriculum is sufficient for the certifications also? Or is there anything else we have to cover?
So for certification, what I will see is this course is sufficient, but there are some topics in certification like unit and integration test. And then we have in certification, there's also weightage for the topic like extensibility. So these two topics are not part of this course. They are part of Launchpad course, the Fiori Security, Fiori Advanced course. Yet it's okay. You can clear the certification. I have many of my students who writes to me that Anubhav, I was able to clear the certification with the first course itself. I didn't need to go to next course. But if you check my certification guidance, which are given there, that itself will guide you what is the weightage of each topic and how much extra you probably need to do self-learning from the books which will be published. And that way you can easily crack the certification on your own. But majority of it comes from this first course itself. And just to show you some of the success story out here, it's always my pleasure to showcase these success stories. Your ex-students or what you call your seniors who have already taken the course, they still in touch with me and they keep writing me with their encouragement, with their passion, with their commitment back in their company after attending the training. You can see here lots of success stories out here, which tells you that what exactly they did and it actually helped them. So if it helps people, I can guarantee you that it will help you for sure. There's definitely no reason to say it cannot help you.
So will there be training in gateway, NetWeaver gateway? I mean, in this course, because we'll be doing
Core data services from NetWeaver gateway end to end with DPC extension, SEGW, service development with all types of crude operation plus function import plus also the image processing using gateway.
Okay, so
what about serious view, Anubhav?
So do we need to pay extra to access those resources? I mean, as you said, the server access is going to be separate. I mean, $40 or something like that, right? So,
yes.
So
if you need, you have to pay. If you don't need, I don't charge you. I don't force to charge you. I will guide you. What is that? You can check in your company system. And if that piece is there in your company system, you can use your company system. Why to pay? I will save a lot of your funds. I will make sure that you will save a lot of money. You don't pay unnecessarily for things which you don't need.
Okay. So Meenakshi is going to send without any service access. I mean, whatever the course fee.
Only the course fee. Server access is still a long topic. We are not yet there. The chapter number 27 is when we need server. Till 27 chapter, we don't need any server. It's called Web ID, which is free. We'll cover that. We will cover that. Don't pay for server now. I will tell you, I'll guide you. When you need, you will buy it. You can make a choice also there. I will give you multiple choices to choose from.
Okay. Thank you.
And Anubhav, one more thing.
One by one, please.
So, Anubhav, is it cover serious view in his training?
No, sir. Serious view is covered in ABAP on HANA course. If you can go back, that's what I mentioned. To become a successful full stack, you must complete these 3 courses. So serious view, including new ABAP syntax, form tuning, SQLM, SQL performance monitor, S4HANA custom configuration, AMDP, ADBC, SQL scripting, data modeling, view proxy, procedure proxy, complete end-to-end SQL scripting, deep dive, BOPF scenario with CDS, annotations, creating analytic apps. All of this is covered in our ABAP on HANA training. So depending on your need, please check the content and choose the best one that suits your need. Yes, please.
Hey, Anubhav. I'm an SAP BODS consultant. I've been working in this field for the last 7 years. So I just want to check, like, this is a kind of generic question, but I just want to check with you, like, learning this course, do you think, would it be related to me going forward, or is it like a complete deviation from my technology that I'm working on?
So, as I understand correctly, BODS is mainly for data provisioning. It's a data provisioning tool, which you fetch data from one system, a non-ERP or ERP system, to HANA box or some other box. Move the data from one place. So there are other techniques like SLT, DXC. Similarly, one of the is BODS. What is happening is after the migration is complete to S4, slowly you will see a slump in BODS jobs. Slowly, not immediately. Like BW people today are suffering the most because with S4HANA comes with embedded analytics. So why will companies pay extra license for separate BW? They won't. That's why they're suffering the most. Similarly, long run, you have to either learn CDS views, MDPs and stuff like that, or you may have to learn UI5. In long run, I'm telling you, that long run can be as quick as 6 months and as long as 1 to 1.5 years. It's just a matter of time. It's a sinking ship.
Okay, so I think the best way is to get into S4HANA. Do you think that would be the best route, or for me?
Yeah, for you, I recommend to go with S4 route onwards. Maybe that could be more suitable. But as a beginner, you can also start with UI5. I don't mind. See, let me tell you my story. I was an ABAP developer. And like 6 years back, I realized that ABAP is no more going to be there for long. ABAP is not going to help me in my career. I will not get that fulfillment and successful career ahead with ABAP. I have decided to move to Fiori 6 years back. I started learning it. It was extremely difficult to find material. It was extremely difficult to find a trainer. And it took me whopping 1.5 years to learn basic Fiori, basic UI5. That's what the time it took. And believe me, every single day, I never used to sleep before 1 o'clock in the night. After coming from office, I used to sit on my seat and continuously till 1 o'clock I used to work. You will see throughout this course my experiences. I'll share with you what kind of problems and issues I faced. All of this I will be sharing with you. You will realize how much hard work it needs to become an expert. And you will see that and you will be inspired by that, all of these things. Okay. So, but today I am grateful that I took that decision. I'm grateful to myself that I took that decision that day. Because if I wouldn't have taken that, the story would have been completely different, which is now some of you as a Bapper, you can relate with me what is happening today for you. That's the thing. Technology changed so fast with the pace that people cannot adapt to it. And today you see slowly the Fiori, the S4 is penetrating very fast in companies. And without the right knowledge, it's extremely difficult to grow. Change is hard, but it is good for us.
I understand that, and I agree with you.
It's painful because it's painful. Change is very painful. You know, if you have the fear of losing what you have, that's why change is hard. But trust me, this change is important for our survival. It's important for our survival. Take this pain, you will see tremendous results.
So, Anubhav, one more question. So, do you teach the S4 HANA as well in this, as another course?
Yes.
Because I just want to get started with the one thing which is related to what I'm doing right now. So that's why I'm asking this question.
Makes sense. Go ahead with the BAP on HANA S4 HANA course. 3rd of February, please drop an inquiry on the website from contact us page. And you will be getting the demo invite for a BAP on HANA training.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Anubhav.
Thank you.
Hi, Anubhav.
Hi.
Are we covering the customization of Fiori apps, standard Fiori apps? In this
No,
course?
that's covered in advanced Fiori. That's called extensibility concept. How to extend. But to do that, you first know what is controller. And that control is covered in the current course. You should know scaffolding. To do that, you should know XML views. You should know fragments. All of that is covered in our foundation training, the one which you started today.
Okay. But their security and all is also covered, right? So it requires
security and extension is covered in advanced Fiori. Advanced Fiori is again 50 hours, which will cover visual editor, analytic app development, OVP, KPI modeler, Fiori security concepts, catalogs, launchpad designer, theme designer, changing logout, login screen, extensibility concept with Web ID extension project, new extensions, new replacements, controller extensions, controller modifications, component preload, best practice build using grunt.js, OPA 5, Q unit, storyboard, mock server, the FLP sandbox. Then we have the integration test, offline Fiori app with hybrid application development toolkit, build tool for prototyping. All these concepts are covered in advanced Fiori.
So are you starting any course on a batch on that?
Batch on that is planned on March. I had a plan in February, but I've got a Europe trip for 600 participants. They are approaching me since kind of last 1 year constantly. Anubhav, my team need training only from you. They have said we don't want training from anybody else. I've given them like 8 month date, and they were making me advance payment for 8 month late date. And this is the time they want me there for sure for 600 participants on UI5 Fiori. It's a crash course on UI5. This is why I'm traveling to Europe next month. So that's when I have also one week of break in the middle. And I'm actually traveling for 2 weeks. For 1 week, I will wake up late in the night around 3:30 in Europe timing, which is 7 o'clock morning your time. And I will give you the classes for 1 week. And then next to that week, I will be taking vacation. So 1 week I will not be there. So that's that plan which I showed you. But trust me, the classes will be there on regular timings.
Hello, sir. Sir, I have a query. I have 2 years experience in SAP ABAP as a developer. Sir, which one is the good for me? Just like as I go for Fiori, yeah, for ABAP on HANA.
You must attend UI5 Fiori. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, start with UI5 Fiori. This is your step to success.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Start
Thank
with UI5 Fiori, please. Best thing for you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello,
Yes, please.
are you going to cover Fiori elements in this?
Covered in advanced Fiori elements. Fiori elements like one Fiori element which is master detail Fiori element we will cover here. But Fiori element actually is about OVPs and ALPs. Both OVP ALP covered in advanced Fiori. These are basically used to build analytic apps. Okay. And there's one more called Smart Filter Fiori app. All three are covered in advanced Fiori training with annotation concept, annotation modeler, and visual editor with WebID full stack. So that's covered in advanced Fiori. But guys, focus on foundation. If your foundation is weak, you go to gym and start lifting 50 kg directly. It will break down your muscles. You can do that. I don't mind it. Nobody will stop you, but it will break down your muscle. You'll get confused. Learning, career satisfaction, love, these things takes time. They need time. You cannot say, I found love. It's not a scavenger hunt. You cannot just do it. Hey, I found love. Relationships, they take time. These things needs time to build. Skills is built with hours and hours of beating your own crap every day. That's how you build skills. This is the biggest problem why people don't find satisfaction at their work. Because one day they work with one thing, second day they work with another thing, and nowhere they're an expert on anything. And they're not happy with their job. They curse their job like hell. That's what happens. This is reality. Because foundation is so weak. It's so weak. It's in the depth of our heart. It's so weak. We somehow get the work done. कैसे जैसे करके चिपका दूं, कोड चिपका के output देना manager को. This is the tendency which I see very often. That won't help you long run. It will not make a successful career. You will get frustrated from your job. You will definitely get frustrated. But once you know the foundation, you work on your core. You build your core muscle strength, and then you can become a heavyweight champion. You can become a heavyweight champion. You need to work on your core. Your base core muscle has to build. And that's what this course will do. UI5 and Fiori is designed for that, to build your core muscle. You will be amazed to see these concepts and say, "Arey, ye nahi aata to main to aage seekh nahi sakta tha." You will be realizing that by the end of this course. No copy paste.
Hello, Abhinav. Guru here.
Guru, please go on.
Yeah. So I would like to join for the SAP UI5 and Fiori classes. So is that also same joining starting tomorrow? That course also?
UI5 is already started today. Tomorrow is our next class, class number 1. Setting up your development environment web IDE. That's our next class topic.
Okay. What about the Fiori classes? I wanted to learn Fiori as well.
Fiori is covered in the same course, Fiori development, but Fiori security is covered in Fiori advanced course. We will be starting in March, and that will be a perfect time. The moment we complete this module, we'll start immediately advanced Fiori. So you all can go to advanced Fiori also directly.
So if I make the payment for this course, do I need to make the payment that time for that also? Or can I pay the amount of...
If you're taking Fiori Advanced, you have to make that time for Fiori Advanced. The Fiori Basic, Fiori Development is covered in this course. Fiori Security and Fiori Advanced is covered in another course. That's the difference.
Oh, both are different courses. Okay. Okay, but so before taking the Fiori Security, we should know the basic.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. This is not basic, by the way. Don't call it as a basic course. We call it as foundation. Without foundation, no building can sustain longer.
Yeah, thank you.
It's your choice. Some of the colleagues in the batch today, they were asking visual editor. They want advanced Fiori elements, Fiori extension. If you already know foundation, go with advanced thing. I don't mind. Directly go with advanced things.
Okay, thank you.
Anubhav Prashant here. So I have around 6.5 years of experience in ABAP.
Mm-hmm.
So what should be my way to proceed? Because I'm really confused whether to go with ABAP on HANA or UI5. Because I have plans of moving to please.
You must start with UI5. Nishant, let me tell you, for a BAP developer today, the must-have need is UI5. Because what we do in a BAP earlier, we used to either build dialog programs, reports, or we used to build like WebDim Pros or BSPs. All of that is trash. What the front end is built on is UI5 and Fiori. The UI5 Fiori is an essential skill for any ABAP developer, no matter how much experience you have. Then you add up ABAP on HANA. On top of it, you will come under a category of full stack developer. You will become a full stack developer.
Yeah, that's what is happening. I'm relocating to Europe in another 2 months in search of job. And over there, the scenario is everybody wants a full stack developer, a person who knows each and everything, even UI5 and the new concepts of CDS and all those things.
That is what I am aiming to do so. So that's why I said, take these 3 modules one by one. Don't jump on all 3. Trust me, you are just wasting your money and time if you're jumping all 3. Don't do that. Take one by one, step by step. And trust me, it will give you a transformation at the end. You will transform yourself to a full stack developer. And then every company needs you.
Sure. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hi, Anubhav. Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go on.
Yeah, I'm Smita. I have this doubt that if a client wants to see his prototyping kind of application, he gives a very limited time, like 1 day, within 1 day or 2 days, I have to show him according to the requirement. For this, what do you suggest? Like we should learn advanced Fiori, or with learning the foundation course, we are expert to show him this kind of front end codes and development?
Good question. You can actually read the app itself in 1 to 2 days. Can you believe that? Why do you build a paper prototype in 1 to 2 days, where you can build a real app itself in 1 to 2 days?
Yeah, some part of assignment he gives.
That's what the capability we will build in this course.
In the foundation, you mean to say?
In the foundation, yes.
Okay.
So, Anubhav, do you cover the build tool which we can do a prototyping?
That's covered in advanced Fiori, but I will give you a glimpse of that. You can easily learn build. It's so easy. I will guide you to the right YouTube videos. So some of my topics are there on YouTube, but they are all scattered. They are not organized. Okay. So when the time comes, I will give you slowly, steadily some of the interesting things, which without taking advanced course, you can also learn it just from the YouTube. That guidance is also provided in the foundation course.
Oh, thank you. And one more thing regarding the Launchpad. How much do you cover on the Launchpad in the foundation course? Just eager to know.
In the foundation course for Launchpad, we just cover plain vanilla flow of how to deploy and make your app accessible for the first time to the end user. Advanced Launchpad troubleshooting, cache management, cache buster, Launchpad activation, deactivation, standard SAP content, catalogs, groups, technical catalog, business groups, business catalog groups, business roles, advanced concept on security, S4HANA security concepts, they are covered in advanced Fiori. They are not covered here. So one plain vanilla, you can do that as part of this course. I will cover as part of this course itself. You will be able to do end-to-end development, deployment, and access to the end user with the Launchpad. All 3 end-to-end will cover in one course in this course itself. You will be self-managed developer. You will not need any trainer after this, at least for this topic. For security topics, you may need me. That is where the advanced Fiori comes. For extension, you may need me. That's where advanced Fiori comes. For Fiori element, you may need me. That's where advanced Fiori comes. So majorly, this course is self-sufficient enough to get started your journey and build end-to-end beautiful Fiori apps from scratch, including all the foundation concept known. You will be able to do that.
So Anubhav, for the enrollment for this program, for the session. So we need to make the payment by today so that we can join tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. Just talk to Meenakshi. She will guide you with the steps. With that, it's a wrap on today's session. Thank you so much for all of you listening to me patiently. And I will see you in our session tomorrow. Yes, go ahead, sir.
I have a question. After this session, say suppose like today you had shown us how to build the app, and after this session you are going to share this presentation so that we can also try to build and see cross-check, right?
You will get presentation.
In everyday class. In everyday class, I'm saying.
Yes, every day you will get presentation. You will also get the source code. Complete source code also I will share with you. So complete presentation, complete source code every day, and after 4 hours of the class, you will also get the video of this class to watch. You cannot download, but you can watch the video also. You will get that. All of this you will be getting it. Part of training blog, how does it look like? It will be a self-service. Let me show you again. It will be a self-service. You will be able to do you don't every day mail me to ask and go, where is the PPT, where is the study material. It's all self-service. We will put it in a central blog and you'll get the blog access in the subscription email. So that will be access will be provided to you. So you can do it all your own. You don't need to follow up with anybody for that.
Okay, thank you.
My browser is hung. It's taking time. My browser is very low. I don't know, some problem. I cannot show you blog now. You will have the blog access for sure. Hey guys, I think I have to check out now. Thank you so much once again. And I'll see you tomorrow in the next class. Goodbye.